If you're a parent in Missouri and you're trying to figure out how to navigate the school system after a separation or a divorce, well, you've come to the right place. We're going to walk through your rights step by step so you can stay connected to your child's education.
You know, it's such a common feeling, and it is incredibly stressful. All of a sudden, one parent is the main contact, and you find yourself missing out on important updates, teacher emails, maybe even report cards. It can feel really isolating, but I want you to know you are not alone. And even more importantly, the law is on your side.
This right here, this is the core idea we're starting with, and it comes straight from the Missouri Parents' Educational Rights Guide. It's a really powerful statement, and it sets the foundation for everything we're about to cover. Your role as a parent doesn't just end because a marriage did, especially when it comes to school.
So stick with me for the next few minutes. We are going to cut right through all that confusion and give you the clear, direct information you need. Our goal is to help you feel confident in advocating for your child and for your own fundamental right to be involved in their education.
Okay, let's start by building your toolkit. I want you to think of these laws not as some complicated, scary rules, but as tools that are going to empower you to stay active and present in your child's academic life.
So where do these rights even come from? Well, think of it like a 1-2 punch of protection. First, you've got rights guaranteed right here at the state level in Missouri. And then those rights are backed up by a really strong federal law called the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, or as most people call it, FERPA. Together, they create a super solid foundation for you.
Now, let's break down something that's absolutely crucial: the difference between legal and physical custody. Legal custody, that's about the big stuff, the right to make major decisions, like which school your child attends. Physical custody, on the other hand, is just about where the child lives day to day. Getting this difference is the key to understanding your rights.
So here it is, the big takeaway. Just because your child doesn't live with you most of the time does not mean you're automatically cut off from their school. Not at all. Unless a judge has written a court order that specifically says you can't have it, your right to get records, see report cards, and talk to teachers is completely intact.
All right, so we know where these rights come from. Now let's get into the specifics. What exactly does a school have to do for you? Let's see your rights in action. This is basically your federal rights checklist. Thanks to FERPA, the school has to let you see and get copies of your child's records. And that means everything: grades, attendance, even discipline files. You also have the right to go to parent-teacher conferences. And if you happen to see something in the record that's just plain wrong, you have the right to ask them to fix it. And here's the question that causes the most confusion, right? You've got your rights under the law, but you've also got this custody order from a judge. So which one does the school follow? Thankfully, there's a really simple rule of thumb for this.
So what's the hierarchy? It's simple. The court order is king. If a judge made a specific ruling about school access, that's what the school has to follow, period. But, and this is a really big but, if the order doesn't say anything about it, then the law takes over, and your rights are guaranteed by default.
This chart breaks it down perfectly. Just look at that first line. If your court order doesn't mention school rights, the law just defaults to access for both parents. And even check out that second scenario, sole legal custody. The result is still that the other parent gets access to records. Access is the default setting.
This is the key takeaway for this whole section. The school can't just make up its own rules. They can't play favorites or take sides. They can't deny you information just because it's easier or because the other parent told them to. They need a signed court order that specifically, explicitly restricts your rights. Without one of those, you're in.
Okay, the theory is great, but let's get practical. How do you actually use these rights? Well, here is your step-by-step action plan for getting what you need from your child's school.
This is your game plan. First, be prepared. Always bring a copy of your court order. It shows the school exactly what the judge said. Then, be really clear and polite about what you're asking for. Now, if you get any pushback or the staff just seems confused, calmly ask to speak with the person who handles FERPA compliance. Trust me, they'll know the rules. And finally, always, always, always follow up in writing.
And you don't even have to guess what to write. Here is a super simple template. It's polite, it's professional, and it actually references the specific laws that give you these rights. This tells the school you've done your homework. You can literally copy and paste this into an email.
That's a totally valid concern. What if you do everything right? You send the email, you're polite, but you're still being ignored or denied access. What do you do then? Well, you definitely don't give up. You escalate. And there's a clear process for that too.
Think of this as your escalation ladder. First step, document everything.
Your paper trail is your best friend. Next, you can put the district on the spot and ask for their official policy in writing. If that doesn't work, you can file a formal complaint with the U.S. Department of Education, and as a final step, if you have to, you can take the issue back to family court.
Okay, let's talk about the most important part of all of this. Your mindset. Seriously, how you approach this can make all the difference. This isn't about winning a fight, it's about building a partnership for your child.
These tips are so important. Please remember, school staff are usually just busy people doing their best. They're not your enemy. Keep every conversation focused squarely on your child's needs, not your relationship with your ex. And you know what? A simple thank you to a teacher can go a very long way. This positive, proactive approach will get you so much further than angry demands.
This right here is the heart of the matter. Every single law and every right we've talked about was designed with one goal in mind, making sure your child has the support of two involved parents. When you frame it that way in your own mind, it just changes your whole approach.
I want you to let that sink in for a moment. Your role as a parent is separate. It's enduring. You still have a voice, you still have rights, and you absolutely still have a critical part to play in your child's life and their education. And that is why this all matters so much. Kids do better when their parents are engaged. By using your rights to stay in the loop, you're giving your child a huge advantage, and more importantly, you're showing them that you will always, always be there for them. So, we'll leave you with this to think about. Armed with this information, you're not just a parent anymore, you are your child's best advocate. How are you going to use these tools to build a positive partnership with the school and keep the focus exactly where it belongs on your child's success?